So guys, hello. I hope you have good evening and today we're gonna review Riders Republic. Ubisoft's abilities to create racing experience that cover a variety of genres is something that started with the crew and was almost mastered with the crew 2, and while those worked well for planes, boats and cars, it didn't do much for those wanting and extreme sports offering. Riders Republic was shown off in September of 2020 and offered a promising look at the kind of racing action. Multi-genre racing has been done before with the Extreme series on the PS1 and Extreme Sports on the Dreamcast, but it has been many years since we have seen something that aimed to use modern technology to do justice to a variety of outdoor sports. Biking is something that we're seeing get an uptick in gaming representation with games like the Descenders and Lonely Mountains Downhill, but nothing has quite matched the beauty of biking with tricks this well seen the ties of Devil Mira BMX. For all sports, Rider Republic offer up both auto and manual tricks landing alongside a racing-centric mode that allow tricks or a more intricate trick system that emphasizing that aspect of the race over others. Bonuses are given for using the sauter control and that does enable faster progression throughout the main campaign as a result is gathering more stars within a single event. Just beating an event has the player a single star while up to 5 stars can be obtained by ramping up difficulty or going trick happy. Biking feels naturally and playing on both the PS4 and PS5 resulted in a good experience in terms of just getting around on tracks. The DualSense haptic motors are used to replicate moving across different terrain and it's a pretty neat effect. Something like this has been tried before in much older tech, Project Gotham Racing 2. Will change up the vibration effect depending on the surface you were driving on, but nothing has been quite done to this degree yet. The DualSense triggered also feel quite naturally for gradual change in acceleration and braking and do go a bit beyond what the DualShock 4 can do in that regard. They have just enough resistance to help feel when you need to go a bit faster or tone it down a bit and avoid going too fast for the environment. On both dirt with bikes and when on the show with a port or 6, controls are naturally across the board and it's impressive to see in action. It's hard enough to nail one genre of racing and stunts correctly, and Riders Republic managed to do that for several different sporting events, including some we don't see much of in games. The rocket-powered wingsuit is something that took me right back to the fun of using the rocket belt impelled wings. Only his blends the precision that provides with a lot more speed and the excitement that comes from using it in a race with others. The fast pace is something that no pilot wings game could match, but the event itself combines a bit of the light plane flying shot hoops with a modern day racing experience and the ability to fly around the track. Let's get this out of the way. Rider Republic is a framed but often weird, frequently cringe-inducing narrative. Filmed through the lens of reality TV show, the player character is Grease thought she hub area meeting a handful of people tossing out lingo that gives the impression someone is trying to write like a hip pitch bomb. There is some surfer slang or whatever that I just did not understand and often loaded at because of how silly it all felt. But I've got to be honest, there is kind of charm in how strange and bad it sounds. There is blissful weirdness to how not serious everyone in this game is. The Republic is described as a kind of commune where like-minded enthusiasts came together to carve out biking paths through the dense trees and set up shop at mountain ridges. Imagine the writing of the Republic hug from a kind-faced stranger. There is no ill will there, but something about feels of yet all you can do is just accept the embarrassed and often a pat on the back in turn. Cross-generation playback is fairly similar between the PS4 and PS5. Versions we tested out. The PS5 does have a massive advantage in loading time as going from the map The dessert area takes around 1 second via the SSD and about 10 and 50 seconds on the PS4. This may to seems like a lot, but you will be going in and out of the main map fairly often, and it ends up being a massive time saver to play this on PS5 versus. Overall, Riders Republic is a fantastic game and the most addictive extreme sport game on the market outside of maybe the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. The variety of sports enables the experience to remain fresh, while those wanting a greater challenge can enjoy more events faster by stepping their game up and going for a more all-encompassing experience with more tricks and shorter difficulty. Cross-generation buyers will be in for a far better experience on the PS5 thanks to the SSD speeding things up and making for a much smoother experience, but the PS4 version in pressure given the tech, if it wasn't for the SSD speed, the feeling of both face and race will be quite similar and you can go wrong with any version. Thank you for watching guys, goodbye.